The Black First Land First has opened a case of corruption against President Cyril Ramaphosa at the Hillbrow Police Station in Johannesburg. The party leader, Andile Mngxitama, accuses the president of misusing the 500 billion rand COVID-19 relief fund. Mr. Mngxitama now joins us on the line. Andile, welcome to the program.
Yes, good evening, and also to your viewers.
So there have been growing calls for accountability, especially for those who have been found in the wrong regarding the misuse of funds linked to the COVID-19 procurement. You've now taken action against the president. Tell us why you're doing this.
The basic point is that we cannot deal with the corruption related to COVID-19 funds, the 500 billion rand, because the president is compromised in a very serious manner. Our case today relates to the CR17 campaign funds. We are simply saying that we started from the wrong footing. President of the country got entangled from the beginning with massive corruption. Corruption that relates to donors who gave him money, and in terms of the law, he should not have accepted that gratification. And as a consequence, once he was in power, corruption became institutionalized. And as a consequence today, we are choking as a nation. We are literally drowning in corruption. And our president is incapacitated to act on corruption because we have not resolved the big question of how our president became president. And we argue that the way President Ramaphosa became president, allowing private interests to put R1 billion in his kitty to basically influence the outcome of a conference and then becoming a president, is the beginning of the corrupt, if you like, perverse practices, which today we see in the incapacity to deal with the corruption of COVID-19 funds which have been used. We hear, the SARS itself says people who running car washes, bars, IT companies have received these tenders because corruption has become perverse. And we are simply saying to the Hawks and to the NPA, we start at the top. The president of the country, he has not accounted. Instead, what he has done was to ask for concealment of his donors. Now, we're not asking for we're not involved in the answer, asking for the opening of those sealed documents. That's a different matter. We support the public protector. We are specific about admitted funds received, funds which should never have been received by a deputy president from private hands. Now we see, if you look, people who gave the president money are the same people who now have been placed in state institutions, including such powerful institutions such as the PIC. Maria Ramos is there. Sifiso Dabengwa, who's another donor, got money, got placed at ESCOM. We also saw Aspen, the big pharmaceutical company, who's a donor. After Ramaphosa became president, it also got funds. So the foundations of Ramaphosa's presidency is based on corruption, and that corruption has not been accounted for.
Let's now focus on these allegations that you are making against the president, saying he's received funds from what you refer to as the 500 billion rand looting of the procurement relating to the COVID-19 response. Do you have any evidence to support this claim?
Absolutely. And I again want us to separate things. There is the contemporary or current corruption. We are focusing on the original corruption of the CR17 donor money for the campaign itself. We're talking about R1 billion there, which is money from private hands, buying basically a president. Remember what happened towards the ANC conference. You have private interests putting R1 billion together, giving it to President Ramaphosa. He should not have accepted that money. That is where corruption starts. Our law does not allow for what they call a gratification or direct benefit from people who end up themselves benefiting from the state once the president, who has been given money by these individuals, actually ascends to become the head of the state. We have a captured president, literally. And how can we then fight corruption? What we see with the 500 billion rand incapacity comes from that effect of a president that was brought into power through corruption. This is what we are arguing. And he has not accounted. Instead, he has behaved like a man who's guilty. He has said he must conceal. We must not know as a nation. As we speak today, we don't know who gave the president money to contest the ANC presidency and to become president of the nation. We are sitting with a president who has been paid for, who has been bought, and we think that president will be able to deal with corruption. It's not possible. Black First, Land First says the president, from our point of view, has broken the law. We've opened this case. We want him investigated, and we hope the NPA will do its job. If it doesn't, of course, we'll take this matter as a private prosecution issue.
Well, that's the BLF's Andile Mngxitama saying they will take action against President Cyril Ramaphosa after pressing charges against the president at the Hillbrow Police Station.